Chapter 10. The Luckiest Man in Babylon. Sharu-Nada rode at the front of his caravan. He was a rich merchant of Babylon. He wore nice clothes. He sat straight on a fast horse. People looked at him and thought he was strong, even if he was not young. But inside, Sharu-Nada was worried. The road from Damascus was long. The desert was hot and hard. Wild tribes could attack. But Sharu-Nada was not afraid, because he had many guards on horses. They protected the caravan. Sharu-Nada was worried about the young man near him. The young man was Hayden Gula. He was the grandson of Arad Gula, Sharu-Nada's old partner. Sharu-Nada felt he owed a lot to Arad Gula. He wanted to help the grandson. But the young man was proud. He wore rings and earrings. Sharu-Nada looked at him and thought, he loved jewelry. But his face was strong like his grandfather's face. His grandfather did not wear jewelry. I asked this young man to come with me because I wanted to help him start a new life. His father lost their family money. Hayden Gula spoke. Why did you work so much? He asked. Why did you always travel with the caravan? Did you never enjoy life? Sharu-Nada smiled. Enjoy life? He asked. Tell me. If you were Sharu-Nada, what did you do? Hayden Gula laughed. If I had your money, he said, I lived like a prince. I did not ride in the desert. I spent money fast. I wore the best clothes and the best jewelry. That was a rich man's life. Sharu-Nada said, your grandfather wore no jewelry. Then he asked, so you did not work? Hayden Gula answered, work was for slaves. Sharu-Nada did not answer. He rode in silence. Soon the road went down from a hill. Sharu-Nada stopped and pointed ahead. Look, he said. That green place was the valley. Far away you could see the walls of Babylon. That tall tower was the temple of Bel. If you looked well, you could see smoke from the fire on top. Hayden Gula looked and said, so that was Babylon. I always wanted to see the richest city in the world. My grandfather became rich there. If he was alive, we did not have these problems. Sharu-Nada said, why did you say that? You and your father could also do good work. Hayden Gula shook his head. No, he said. We did not know his secret. We could not bring money like he did. Sharu-Nada did not reply. He rode and thought. Later they rode on the King's Road and passed farms with water canals. Sharu-Nada saw 3 old men in a field. They were plowing with oxen. They moved slowly. Sharu-Nada stared. They looked familiar. He felt he saw them long ago. That was strange, he thought. So many years passed. Sharu-Nada looked back at his caravan. He saw many camels and donkeys. They carried good things from Damascus. He felt proud. Then he pointed to the men in the field. They still plowed the same field, he said. Hayden Gula asked, how did you know? Sharu-Nada said, I saw them there long ago. Old memories came back fast. He did not want them. But he remembered Arad Gula with a warm feeling. Then Sharu-Nada made a plan in his mind. This young man hated work, he thought. But I must help him, because I loved his grandfather. Sharu-Nada said, do you want to hear how your grandfather and I became partners? It helped us become rich. Hayden Gula said, tell me only how you got money. Sharu-Nada did not change. He said, my story started with those men in the field. I was young then, like you. I walked in a long line with other men. We were slaves. A farmer named Megiddo walked next to me. Hayden Gula looked shocked. Slaves? He asked. Was Megiddo chained to you? Sharu-Nada said, yes. We had bronze collars on our necks. A heavy chain joined us. Near us was Zabadu, a thief. Another man was called Pirate. He did not tell his real name. He had 2 snake marks on his chest. Hayden Gula asked, you were a slave? Sharu-Nada said, did your grandfather not tell you this? Hayden Gula said, no. He never said it. Sharu-Nada looked at him and said, your grandfather was a man you could trust. Could I trust you too? Hayden Gula said, Yes. I will not tell. Sharunada said, Good. I became a slave because of my brother. My brother got into a fight and killed a man. My father tried to save him. He promised money to the dead man's wife. But my father could not pay. So the wife sold me to a slave dealer. Hayden Gula said, That was not fair. Sharunada said, Yes. Now listen. We marched to Babylon. When we passed the field, the men laughed at us. One man shouted, Welcome to Babylon. The king waits for you on the walls. Your dinner is bricks. They laughed. Pirate became angry. He shouted and cursed. He said, They will send us to carry bricks. They may work us until we die. They will not kill me. I will kill them first. Megiddo said, That talk was foolish. A master liked a good worker. If you worked well, you lived better. Zabadu laughed. He said, Who wanted hard work? Those men in the field were smart. They acted like they worked. I also found an easy job. Megiddo said, Work was good. Work helped me before. Work was my friend. That night, Sharunada said, I was very afraid. I could not sleep. I spoke to a guard. His name was Gadoso. I asked him, Will they send us to the walls? He said, First we go to the slave market. When buyers come, tell them you are a good worker. Tell them you like work. If no one buys you, then you go to carry bricks. That work is very hard. Sharunada said, After that, I lay in the sand and looked at the stars. I thought, maybe work can save me. In the morning I told Megiddo. That was our small hope. Sharunada continued, Soon we saw the walls of Babylon. We saw many men working. Some made bricks. Some carried heavy baskets. Some fell down. Guards hit slow men with whips. I was terrified. Next morning they took us to the slave market. Buyers looked at us like animals. Guards pushed us forward. Megiddo spoke to buyers. He spoke well. A farmer bought him. Megiddo walked away. Sharunada said, Time passed. I was still there. I was scared. Then a fat, kind man came. He asked, Is there a baker here? I stepped forward and said, I am young and strong. I like work. Teach me. Give me a chance. He liked my words. He bought me. I followed him and felt great joy. I thought, I was the luckiest man in Babylon.